like the whole team and all these AMAs. Yeah, Glenn, so how's it going?
Yeah.
So I'm Envy, the dev on Rocket Fuel. So yeah, as soon as you're ready, then we can jump into it.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I'll start the recording now and introduce everyone. Okay, good afternoon to the Whalecoin Talk community. Today we have an AMA with Rocket Fuel. Here to speak about the project is a huge part of the team, Nikki, MV, King Whale, Boo, to say just a few. So maybe, yeah, if we can just start with the size of the core team you're building there and the experience they've got in the past in crypto. That'd be great. MV, thanks.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Glenn. So we are a team of 5 people. Really 2 developers that are working on this and 3 that are really specializing in business and marketing. So we are from Australia, Portugal, and the Netherlands. So that's where the team originates from. I did my first project back in November of 2021. Was a charity token. It did a 10x from 18K to 180K. And then I met Skull in the BSC space, and we decided that, we should do a token together. So we formed a group. King Whale came along, joined us, and we pushed the token. We did a nice stealth launch. We went from 2K to 260K. So a really impressive 130x on that project. And there was another 2 members from there who we didn't bring along, obviously pushing into Rocket Fuel. However, we were very, very lucky to get Nikki and Boo to come along. Nikki is probably one of the best marketing people that I've worked with. And Boo is very clued up in the development of things. So that is a little bit about about where the team's from and how we met, previous projects. So yeah, my background, so I'm originally from South Africa. I now live in Portugal, and I do engineering and computational design as a day-to-day job. Now I do crypto more than my day-to-day job. So yeah, I do a lot of automating with Python scripting. So that's my background, and I think I'll pass on to King Whale, so he can just say a bit about himself, and then we'll go on to Skull.
Yeah, sure. So yeah, I'm from Australia. My background in the crypto, I've been in crypto for probably 3 years now. Has been in my background as an electrical engineer. So being that type, I like to know how things work and analyze everything and make sure that if there's an issue, I can sort of resolve it. That's just what I like to do. So my experience in the running project side of things, when I met MV and Skull, as I said, we launched a project together. We pushed it to 130x, and then we decided, due to the way the BSC was, we weren't going to do another stealth or fair launch, that we were going to do a pre-sale and private sale to boost the starting liquidity and market cap, and actually make a long-term project, not a short or medium term. So we then were able to come together and then analyze all the contracts, and then really come up with a bespoke contract that we believe is a contract that will we can educate people on and have a long-term future with it. So yeah, thank you. I'll pass to Skull.
Yes, hello. Thank you for having us on this Emma today. I'm originally with the team, so I just come with the team early as November. We started the project together. So my profession is like a businessman, as the official job that I do. So, and yeah, I'm a little bit like 2 years in the space of BSC, and I like it so much because there is a lot of opportunity for people. And yeah, there's one rule always on the BSC space: don't put money that you're not gonna afford to lose. There's one rule that I never forget. But beside that, it is a really good space, and I like it so much. I fell in love with the BSC space, and I met wonderful guys like MV, like Kiki, Brian, Boo. So that's when we decided to make a project together, and we did 130x at the first start, and we was talking with each other, and we thought about, let's say we're gonna do something. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be having a contract that's gonna be beneficial for all the holders, and I will let NV get more to in it. So yeah, that's the story about me. I want to ask only one thing: if it's possible that you can make Nikki temporary mod. He wanted to post also something. So that is it for me. Thank you.
Great. I can ask admin to make. So look, is Nikki unmuted? Have a look. But in the meantime, yeah. So on the website, Rocket Fuel is described as a hyper-safe moon project, and there's lots of burns planned and the tokenomics. So if we can maybe go into a bit of that about the project.
Yeah, that would be great. Would it be okay if I can share my screen so everyone can follow too while I explain?
Yeah.
Perfect. All right. So we have Rocket Fuel, a hyper safe moon project. With the term safe moon, we don't want to be the next safe moon project because our tokenomics is not exactly the same. What we mean by a hyper safe moon project is just that the team's going to do everything that we can to safely moon this project, and obviously with it being Rocket Fuel and the way we've designed our tokenomics, it's going to be really hyper along the journey. So yeah, we have been KYC and audited. You can see all that on our pink sale that we've done. So we were audited through Audit Rate Tech, and yeah, so we've got some low level things. It's just the usual with some gas, for some of the functions of excluding, not to exclude too many wallets from fees and stuff, and that wouldn't be an issue because yeah, we're not really looking at excluding too much other than exchanges in the future. So if I can dive straight into the tokenomics of Rocket Fuel. So Rocket Fuel is a reflectionary token, so it reflects itself. Reason why we've gone for reflection over rewards is we've done a lot of research and we're watching the market and a lot of the tokens that we're launching recently. And one of the things with the reward tokens is that when the rewards are really high and the contract sells to distribute these rewards, it causes an incredible amount of downward pressure on the chart. So we decided that we're going to go around the reflection route, and this will then not trigger any contract sells, the reflections. So in actual fact, we've only got a 6% marketing and 1% buyback, which we are fighting the downward pressure. Now that 1% on the buybacks, it gets re-injected into the liquidity pool, strengthening our liquidity pool and offsetting that imperishable loss. So we're taking out, it will be, so we've burned 50% of the tokens initially. As you can see on our contract, if you go to the holders, it's already been done, 50%. We had 40% with a 10% as kind of like a safety guard while we were running our pre-sale. So we just had to throw caution to the wind while we were doing that, in case we only reached our soft cap. However, we filled our pre-sale. I think it was 3 minutes that we filled 180 BNB, which was really good. Everyone was very happy about that, really excited. So yeah, our burn function is automatic. So we count the dead wallet as a holder. So from the start, it's going to be receiving 50% of this 8%. So 4% of every transaction is getting sent to the dead wallet. So I think from a tokenomic point of view, that pretty much sums up what we have on Rocket Fuel. So all in all, the buy and sell tax would be constant at 15%. So what makes Rocket Fuel unique? So we've actually got quite a organic growing. Actually, need to refresh the site 1 second. There we go. So we've got a really organic growing rocket map, which is essentially our roadmap. And along this organic map, we've really put two missions that we would like to call it. This is the 65% burned, so Rocket 6. At 65% burned, we will be sending the top 10 holders on a fully paid holiday trip. So currently we're looking at Bali. It could change, depending on COVID restrictions at the moment. They do have a quarantine at the moment that's set to be lifted, I believe, in April. So we are just keeping an eye on that. It could change to the Maldives. So yeah, we're just looking at that. So we have this milestone here. And then really why we decided to do these kind of big events is to really get our top holders to, do exactly that, to hold onto their tokens. And our main mission, so we want to be the first cryptocurrency to send someone to space. So we've decided at 80% burned, one out of the top 100 holders will be receiving a $450,000 space ticket with Virgin Galactic. Now, I'd just like to explain how we're going to be rewarding our holders. Like at this point here, we've got 65% burn. So now the dead wallet is receiving 65% of that 8%. So if I go through onto our white paper here, and I just go down to our stages. So we've got 3 stages that we are going through. So we have the initial burn of 50%, which we have completed already. The tokenomics here would be 8% reflections. So 4% would be going towards the dead wallets, and 4% would be getting reflected to all current holders. Then the 6% marketing and the 1% buyback. So on stage 2, where we hit that mission, we send 10 people on a paid vacation. We're really going to turn that paid vacation into a big marketing and PR event. So the team will be publicly doxing at this event, meeting the top 10 holders, really getting us to get the publicity to push us all the way to the final stage, to the hyper burn. Now, what I was talking about earlier about the reflections starting to offset quite considerably. So we've decided that at stage 2, we will be increasing the reflections by 1%, and we will decrease the marketing by 1%. So reflections now become 9% and marketing becomes 5%. So our holders will still be receiving quite a significant portion of reflections. So it increases essentially at this point. And then, to go one step further, at our final hyper burn, it's 80% burnt. So there's going to be 10% reflection. So we, again, going to use the same formula that we've done here. We'll increase the reflections by 1%, again, decrease the marketing by 1. And all in all, the fees remain at 15%. So when we started discussing Rocket Fuel, we really thought, okay, at 65%, what will stop the top 10 holders? They've got their vacation. What will stop them from actually selling off their tokens? Now, we decided, okay, we want to, this is the main goal here, to send someone to space. So we decided, okay, if we can get people, the top 100 people, for this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to actually go up into space. We feel that's really something to hold on to, to believe in the project and not sell off, for that chance of actually going to space. Then we looked at, now, after we do accomplish this, what is going to prevent people from then selling off? So we've decided that our staking will be enabled only at 80% burnt, where we'll be able to offer a 60% APR guaranteed for 10 months. So we have locked away all the tokens needed to make this possible. So 10% of the tokens here are locked away. If we are not ready, so we've played it safe. We've got 1% that over 10 months. If we don't reach it, then, as is unlock, we lock again and we chuck it to the end here. So until we reach that milestone. So yeah, pretty much everything is ready. So that's one of our use case over here, the staking. As you can see on 70% burned, we do have an NFT marketplace that will be opening up. Now we've chucked it under 70% burnt. It's more of a guide, this marketplace. It could happen at 60%, 65%. We just don't know exactly how fast we're going to be burning through this stage here from launch to about 60%. We do think we're going to hit this within 1 day, this 55% target. So really, the NFTs is something that we have in our back pocket to really boost the hype around the project and really have something for the community that would bring them together. So what we mean by NFT competitions. So the NFT competitions is really, we want to bring creators into our community that can then create NFTs. So it will all be based around different types of rockets. That's a theme that would be going with, being rocket fuel. And then the community will vote on which one, weekly competition on which NFT should be listed as official endorsed rocket fuel NFTs. Now, the creators would receive a lot more exposure. They would have a brand that's backing them. So the value of the NFTs is going to sell considerably higher than them, going on to OpenSea and posting their rocket on there. It's so to say. So that is one thing that we have. One thing we don't have on this roadmap that we have announced already in our group. So if you are able to go into the group and just go back a few pinned messages, you would see that we had a surprise utility that we were getting a lot of the development and a lot of the promotional videos in place. So we will be having a leaderboard style play to earn game coming out in Q2 2022. So that's anywhere from just over a month to 4 months, I believe it is. We're still going to be going through all the processes. We'll first release a beta version for testing, for people to really go on and try it out. And then we'll do our V1, which will be the free leaderboard. And then in V2 of the play to earn game, you would be able to enter the weekly competition. So that is a prize pool type of competition where we have a set number of entries of people that can enter. And based on the number of entries, if it fills up, we're looking at about first place. I believe it's going to be about 25%, 25x that they would make on their entry fee. So really exciting, really building up to become quite a competitive game. And again, it's something for people to talk about in the community, something to keep people busy, something to keep people utilizing their rocket fuel tokens. So I think from an explanation point on what rocket fuel is, I believe I've covered quite a bit. So I'm going to hand over to King Whale, so he can really just talk about our plans on educating our community, newcomers that are coming into the space, about what rocket fuel is and how we are planning to, create that generational wealth for investors.
So Nft, I've just got a question before we move over to the next section. Yeah, it's a great presentation for our investors. It's really impressive. Thank you. I'm looking at the 80% burn. One lucky holders. I think you're planning on using Virgin Galactic flying. Is it into
That's
space? I'm wondering, will everyone be included, or we have to have so many tokens?
The top 100, Glenn.
Okay, top 100.
So it's one of the top 100. Really, I believe your top 10, over here is a fair thing. We wish we could give 100 people a vacation trip. That'd be absolutely crazy. Probably break every COVID rule in the book right now. But yeah, so the space ticket would be one out of the top 100 holders. So we would kind of have a random draw that would happen, and we're still quite a far out on this. We might tier it that the top 10 have a slightly better chance than just tier it all the way down to the top 100.
Will that include the team as well, or will they be?
No. So here the team will be attending to docs and really do the marketing and stuff. We'll be on the ground to watch one of the holders take off and do some interviews and stuff like that. But no, definitely the team's not included in any of these. Especially this one. It wouldn't be fair for I don't think we would hold any trust if it's like, oh no, it's one of the team members that's going up. So yeah,
Fair
definitely enough. It wouldn't be a team member that's going up.
And where will the funds come from for the 10 people to have the holiday and the space flight? Yeah.
So because we really see this as the kind of big marketing and PR, so it will be part of the marketing fee. We'll be putting it aside, and then once we reach this target, we will then go through the process of verifying each holder of those top 10 wallets, to make sure that it is the person that we're speaking to. So yeah, it's really it's marketing for our token as such,
And yeah, we can move on to King Whale. But have you got anti-whale features and anti-bot features at the launch?
Yeah, so we filled up our pre-sale, I think it was about 80 or 90% with the whitelist. So from pre-sale point of view, we feel there's not much bots, if any, because we also know of a lot of investors that were trying still into the 3 minutes to buy, and then they still just missed out. We've got a max bag of 1%, and we also have a max transaction for both buys and sells of 0.5%. So really, that is, we feel it's enough for us to offset any bots and not have anything that can ruin our chart, basically.
We can move on.
Yeah, sure. Okay, so basically, I'll cover some of the marketing strategies that we've been implementing. So, seeing as though we're very new in crypto, and I feel that there's a little bit of a gap, what projects don't really do, and that's is an education piece for all the holders. So, a big part of my role with this project is the marketing, and also to do an education piece for all the holders, just to give them an understanding of what this token is, what it means for people in the future, and also how to responsibly trade this token with the reflections that you get. So we have put out an instruction video on the tokenomics already. I'm available 24/7 if I'm awake, just to DM me. Like, I won't DM first, obviously, because I've had so many scammers, but I will actually take the time out and actually have a one-on-one conversation with anybody, just to give them an understanding of crypto in general, and also the tokenomic of Rocket Fuel and our journey and understanding of how those tokenomics actually work, because sometimes it can be a little bit confusing for some people, like, understanding what tax is, understanding what slippage is, understanding what a burn is, understanding what a reflection and how that's actually going to work, because we've got a burn function with a mass of the supply. Most of that reflection percentage will be going to that burn wallet. So just that education piece. We've also got some how to buy pamphlets flying around. Also, we're going to be doing some the building of the partnerships, some press releases, some Telegram. We've got Telegram. We've got a lot of Twitter, Facebook, and many other social platforms which we're utilizing, like TikTok and things like that. And another one we're going to be utilizing, which is an SEO, which is a search engine optimization, which is the to improve the quality and quantity that we actually get to our website to actually see it. And really that targets unpaid traffic rather than traffic that you pay for. So yeah, that's some of it, of our marketing strategy. We're going to have influencers, obviously, and we've done several AMAs with many different call channels already. We've got a Rocket Fuel army that we've started, and they're doing continual raids across all social platforms. If you go on that, it's just impressive what they're actually doing. I would say there's probably about 20 to 30 posts already filling Rocket Fuel everywhere around the socials. So that's really taken a leap. Yeah, I'm just trying to think if there's anything else that I've missed. Yeah, I think that's about it for me. If there's anything else, any questions on that, I'm happy to answer them now. If not, we can move on.
So
you explained that really well. I can open it up to yeah. Go ahead, Andy.
no, it's called. So I want to add a little bit about the tokenomics also. So the tokenomics is our real utility. So what I want to say with that is, like, we want to generate like a passive income for the holders, so that the holders going to benefit for the long-term holders. So they're going to be saying, okay, we're going to make some many X's. What is not so beneficial about our tokenomics is, like, the 50% that is burned is getting also like the reflection. So with that said, it's going to be saying, like, a huge amount of tokens that the burn wallets is getting, the reflections is also getting burned. And also on every buy and sell, it's going to be like getting the reflection, but also is going to be burning at every buy and sell. So in every stage of the milestone where we get in, it's going to be getting the reflection. So the burn wallet is getting the reflection to be burned. So that basically said is that the burn is going to be massively, and we want to reward the holders to get a passive income. So the 8% that is on the reflection at the moment of a milestone of 65% is going to be set up to 9% reflections to the holder, and 1% is going to be reduced from the marketing wallet. So, and that is like, you're getting 9% also burned at 65% instead of 8% of the reflection. So, and 80%, we're going to add 1% more. So it will be 10% reflection instead of 9%, and we will be reducing 1% of the marketing fee to provide that 1% extra in the reflection. So basically, our tokenomics is such based on that we want to reward the holders. We want to give them a passive income, and they got a passive income in reflection. They will get passive income in staking, and they will also get a passive income if they join in, they play, and they win. They will get a reflection. They will get a reward in tokens. So that's what we want to aim for. So we want to we want to reward the long-term holders to have a certain passive income that they can say, okay, we are going to be satisfied with. We're going to get many X's. That's what we want to reward the long-term holders. So basically said, that's what I want to add to it so that people can understand what is our difference between other tokens. So that's why we want to be like, we want to burn as much as we can, but we want to add also utilities to it. It's not going to be only the reflection that we want to add to it. So that play to earn game is going to be something really, really unique. It's going to be really cool to play. I can tell you that. So, and also you're going to get staking, and people can make NFTs, and we're going to choose which NFT is going to be on the marketplace. And when we choose the NFT is going to be on the marketplace, so they earn also on that. So that's going to be really massive to have as utility also. So I want to add that to my story too. Thank you very much.
Awesome. And I was just wondering, has there been an audit on Rocket Fuel contract?
Yes. So I think I said that in the start. So we've done a audit rate tech smart contract audit. So we ran our audit before we actually had our private sale. So we had that, and we did KYC as well. So those two together, before we did our private sale, we went ahead and did the KYC and audit and got the two badges. So we I think we audited it about 2 weeks ago, I believe, approximately. So yeah, we've done all the prep work needed, put in the hours, the sleepless nights, especially for King Whale being in Australia and us being in Europe. It's sometimes we feel it's not fair on him. But yeah, so the audit, like I said earlier, it really came back with no major issues, some low level severity issues, which was just based on gas. And it was the arrays. So just to not make the excluded arrays too big. So that should be all right. We're not looking at doing more than what we need to. The only time we'd be excluding would be like now for the pre-sale, these here, because we don't want to give them rewards. So we've excluded these locks contracts, and yeah, any exchange that we do get listed on would also then get that excluded function.
Okay, great. I got a question in the DM, and then we can move on to investor questions. Someone asked if there'd be a cash prize instead of the holiday or space trip. I imagine not for the space trip, because that's the PR that you'd like, and you're going to film that on the day. But the holiday side of it. Yeah.
So I think, like anything, with the holidays, let's say someone can't go to Bali. We're not going to give, for us, it's really, we want to create that event. We want our holders to actually come to Bali and partake in this milestone that we have achieved. So the only time we wouldn't be able to give a cash alternative, I would say, is if that person legitimately can't go to Bali. Let's say it's based on visas, a country that doesn't accept, or if Bali doesn't accept that country, let me say Indonesia, not Bali. So in that case, we would then, give this cash alternative. So it's really, it's not a prize draw competition as such. It's not like we're not going down that route. It's really something that we want to create a really an amazing event. Spend the time, basically, build that further trust with the top 10 holders at basically the heart of the project. That let's do it. Let's push this thing all the way to that 80%, and let's send someone to space.
And what are you thinking on the timeline of how long it would take to get to the 80% burn? I know it's based on volume and things, but what are you sort of expecting between 50 and 80% timeline wise? So
it's really difficult for us to say, and I don't think it would be fair for us to say, a month, 2 months, 3 months. However, we have done quite a bit of, we ran a whole bunch of test contracts before. It was super low volume, so we looked at max bags being bought and sold and that burn wallet swells incredibly fast with these tokenomics. We're basing, I think it's around 300K volume initially. We should burn around 4% of the supply. So the remaining circulating. So it should jump up to about 54% total in that burn wallet, or let me say the dead wallet. So we expect quite a bit more volume than that, especially on day one. Like King Whale said earlier, we've done a lot of prep work. We did a lot of marketing for the private sale, the pre-sale. We pushed really hard. We did four AMAs that we had going on for that. So really just like sharing our project and getting it out there. So we do have a lot of hype. We've recently expanded to an Indonesian channel, a Chinese channel, and a Turkish channel, and we'll soon be opening up our Spanish and Brazil or Portugal channels. So really just expanding across all the demographics in the world, and really trying to make it a global cryptocurrency that people are talking about and coming to invest. So I hope that answers your question, Glenn. I know I'm talking quite a bit at the moment.
Yeah, we can open it up to investors. Aisha, you had a question for MV or the team at Rocket Fuel. Go ahead.
Yeah, thanks, Glenn. Okay, I want to ask that you have mentioned about NFT competition, and it's mentioned on your white paper that Rocket Fuel will introduce NFT marketplace where creators will be invited to compete to have their NFT listed on official Rocket Fuel marketplace. I want to know that what will be the requirements for artists to compete and get their NFTs voted by community and selected? I mean, do artists have to be native token holder or they have to pay fee for minting?
No, so yeah, so there'll be a fee. Obviously, whatever the price sells for, we would give the majority of that fee to the creator. So this is the attractive part for them, and we would then keep our 15% fee, and in par with our tokenomics of everything's charged at 15%. So 15% that will then go further back into the project that we can develop further, really improve and keep that development pushing across all the utilities. So I think that would be the incentive for people. We want to get the best of the best to come around and showcase their work. So we don't want to put a requirement that they have to hold the token. For us it's really hard to kind of get a massive pool by making this a requirement. It could be a requirement once we have established that this is somewhere where people can come and compete and get their work showcased. But we need to first build that audience. It's the same with what we're doing on our play to earn game. We're first building up we're giving the free side of things, and then we're going into the competitive side with Rocket Fuel. So in the free side, you would still be in the game as well. Like you'd be winning small amounts of Rocket Fuel, but it's really we're after quantity. We really want a lot of people to come on and experience our stuff. Everything that we're developing at the moment is just it's taking shape so quickly, but it's looking so good. It's looking absolutely incredible. So yeah, I hope that answers your question, Crispy.
Yeah, got it. And what about artists' legal protection and copyright?
Well, I think that's with an NFT, that's exactly what it's meant to do, is to really make that it's if you have that NFT, that is your it belongs to whoever owns that NFT. So I think from a copyright point of view, the blockchain, that is what it's meant to do when it comes to NFTs.
Probably to
Okay,
expand on that as
got
well,
it.
to expand on that copyright issue, um, because it's going to be an original piece by the artist, I don't believe there will be a copyright issue.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for answering.
Yeah, I'm wondering about the P2E game. Would it be maybe an asteroid rocket type game or a Space Invaders? I'm old school 1990s, remember Space Invaders. I'm wondering, yeah, what's planned there?
Yeah, so it's a 3D, pretty much with asteroids flying around and enemy ships that you fly. So we're looking at doing a countdown. So per level, you have 5 minutes to survive, and you have, you know, a whole bunch of enemy ships that's coming through, and you have to shoot them and, you know, destroy all the enemy ships and dodge asteroids along the way. And, you know, really, the whole thing with that is also we're trying to introduce NFTs for your types of rockets that you can purchase. And then, you know, every week, really trying to introduce a new NFT rocket that people can purchase. So NFTs there, and then assets that you can equip to your ship. So, you know, different types of missiles, lasers, heat seeking, all different types of attachments. So yeah, it's if you're into that, you'll definitely be enjoying that game.
Well, yeah, just some really big space games out there. Kerbal is a really big one as well. Right, so I can open up to Syed. You had a question for MB at Rocket Fuel or the team? Go ahead.
Yeah, thank you, Glenn. Thank you, Glenn. So I was going through your road. In phase 5, it's mentioned about donation of $1,000 to charity. I want to know, have you guys decided on that, which charity it will be, and what will be the cause of this charity?
That's a very good question. We've had that question pop up before in other AMAs, and I'll repeat what we said there. So that 1,000 charity donation, we haven't decided on a charity yet, but what we found is we want to make really our community come together. So like we did with our launch, you know, our launch was originally planned for tomorrow at 4 p.m. UTC. And, you know, we saw all the hype around, we put the decision to the community, you know, like, do they want to launch today, you know, after the Whalecoin Talk AMA, or do they want to launch tomorrow? And the community voted, and they decided, okay, 6 p.m. today, UTC. That was, you know, it was a resounding 75% that voted for that. So again, when it comes to that charity, we would put it towards the community. You know, we'd pick a list of charities, just really based on what we feel is going to do the best cause, but, you know, a decent list, you know, of at least 10 charities, and then we'll let the community vote and actually decide where that 1,000, because, you know, that 1,000, it essentially, you know, it's rocket fuel. We want everyone to make that decision. Similarly, if we have investors that are giving us recommendations, it's not like, you know, we just look over it. You know, if we see the same things coming up as suggestions, you know, the team sits together, we discuss it, and we do a democratic vote. There's 5 of us, so there's always an outcome to our voting. And yeah, that's pretty much how it would work. So to answer your question in short, there'll be a voting poll.
Okay, great. That's great. So you mentioned about staking, which will be enabled at 80% burn and
Correct.
APR of 55%. I want to know that what minimum number of rocket fuel token one need to hold to be eligible for APR of 55%.
So because at that point, at that 80%, there's 10% for staking. There's going to be 10% circulating supply. So it doesn't matter your proportion, right, of how much you're holding. You would always receive, because if I can explain it to you, there's 100 trillion tokens in circulating supply, and every month we are then giving 10 trillion tokens, or 99995 after the Cryptex fee. So that is a guaranteed amount of tokens that will be supplied. So if everyone stakes, right, and that full amount, which we know is not the case, is staked, then it's that minimum percent of 60% APR. If half the people stake, suddenly, they're still going to be receiving a portion of that 10 trillion tokens. So it is in this sense that we know that we can guarantee that, and it's really, if everything is staked and you have 10 tokens, you would receive 55% APR. It's an annual percentage return that you would receive on those 10 tokens.
That's
So it wouldn't
amazing.
be, perfect. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you for clearing that up. So one final quick question. You mentioned about P2E game. So to be sure, one has to hold NFTs to be able to play this game.
So on the free leaderboard, you wouldn't have to hold anything. So we really want to, push through into iOS at the later stages. And we know, by putting a roadblock in front of people, it's kind of, you don't get the attention that the game might deserve. So we really don't want to put that restriction. We do give you, a free spaceship, and all the default stuff. So it's like going into any game, you start playing, you have all the default stuff to play the game. However, if you want to upgrade and do better, that is where you'll be purchasing assets and different types of spaceships.
Okay, got it. It's really amazing. Thank you so much, and best of luck, guys.
Thank you, bro.
And Panagiotis, you had a question for MV at Rocket Fuel. Go ahead.
Hello. Yes.
Hi.
Hello. Greetings from Greece. I wanted to ask because I didn't catch the whole conversation, the whole AMA. So I just want to ask about total supply and circulated supply ratio, and how often gonna release total supply from total supply to circulated supply per month, let's say.
I think I need a little bit more clarity on that question.
Yes, I mean, I observe for example, now that the market is not, let's say, it's not in the best condition. What I observe is that many tokens, it's not easy for many tokens to remain stable. The price, I mean, because not even it's a lot of selling pressure, for example, but also when token release from total supply into circulated supply, it's also not good. I don't know if I explained. Yeah, this
yes, yeah. So I mean, we've got 10% that's locked away, right? So in actual fact, a lot of places are going to tell you that there's 50% circulating supply, when in actual fact there's only 40%. Now, if you look at it in realistic terms, 50% is burned, so it's about 80%. That's getting, of the circulating supply, and this dead wallet. There's about 80% that's going in. So it's not the full portion that's going in. If you look at the liquidity pool, it's about 13% that it will be receiving on the launch. So it's not really that high of a ratio.
Okay, I understand. And one more question. In your opinion, what is the main reason for someone to hold the token as for a long term? I mean, do you think it make it, let's say, unique?
Did you want me to enter that one, MV?
Yeah. I think you give the best explanation on that one.
Yeah, that's fine. So we decided, like a lot of people go, okay, you're rewarding the top 10 holders, and then you're going to reward one of the 100 holders. It's like, but what about the rest of us, right? So The utilities that we've incorporated into this token, one being the hyperburn and continual creation of a higher floor on the market cap due to the burns and due to the buyback function in the token is one reason. Because if you get in the floor, and while we burn the tokens, the market cap's going to continually, the floor of the market cap is going to continually rise, just the way the tokenomics are. That's one reason. Another reason is if you're a top 10 or a top 100 holder for those for a holiday, and then a chance to go up into space. And then there's also another reason, you get reflections. So that's a passive income. So my part again is to educate people on, if you hold and don't sell, your position in the chart doesn't change as long as you only sell off the reflections. Because once you lose that position in the chart, many of us here, I'm sure, have understood that or had an experience where they went, just if I held, I could have made a lot more money. But this token is made to hold and to sell off those reflections. Another reason is the play to earn game. So that's going to benefit all holders, and also like in the tournament mode, where you will be competing against other people. So you will be, have a long-term hold for that as well, because there's high rewards in that. So that's just a couple of things. I mean, most of the things why you should hold long term, and our roadmap isn't a short roadmap; it's a long term roadmap, due to the utilities that are just coming. Like, we've got so many utilities in this token that we're going to actually release. It's going to be a big journey for us. So there's going to be surprises all the time. So yeah, if it's a long term hold, like, you hold, you get that passive income, you get the play to earn game stuff, you also get the education piece from us, you get, if you're a top 10 holder, you get that chance to go to space, and then if top 10, you also get to meet us and do the doxing with a big marketing push we're going to do, and yeah, and also the continual rise of the floor on the market cap. So it's a win-win for me.
Okay, thank you. It
Norris.
combines a lot. It combines a lot. I understand your point of view.
Yeah.
Great. Venice, you had a question for the Rocket Fuel team. Go ahead. Okay, we can move on. Yeah, it seems an amazing project, a very professional team. It's been presented very well for our investors today with the rocket launch and the utilities and the NFTs. It looks a really sound investment for our investors at Whalecoin Talk. I'm wondering if there's a contract address you could post, because you're launching in an hour, is it? Yeah.
Yeah, that's correct. So yeah, on the, do you want me to post it in here, or do you want me to send it to you for you to post, Glenn?
Yeah, you can send it to me and I'll post it in the main chat just after the AMA with the recordings for our investors, and they can head on over. What's the starting market cap? So
it's been fluctuating, obviously, with the BNB price being a bit wild at the moment. So it fluctuates between 150 and 175. At one point, it was at about 200. But I think at the moment, I can actually get the updated value for you. And it is, let me just refresh. So it's sitting at 156 at the moment that it will be launched.
Nice, reasonable price for people to get into a solid long-term project. Yeah, that sounds really cool. So I always say, anyone listening back to the recording, we can get you safely over to the official Rocket Fuel Telegram if you've got any questions after the AMA, or if you're listening to the recording from our main chat, we'll pin this AMA. And yeah, in 1 hour, just over an hour, we've got the Rocket Fuel launch. It's very exciting, guys. Thank you very much for coming today, sharing that with our investors. I think we've got spin the wheel now, $250 rewards as well.
Sounds good. Good luck, everyone.
It's a very full wheel. That's crazy.
Yeah.
130 or something on there. Yeah, amazing.